integral features are still a relatively new kid on the block, having been introduced only in April 2008. The key effect of the rules is to allow plant and machinery allowances to be claimed for a wider range of expenditure than was previously the case. In particular, allowances are now routinely available for the cost of cold water systems, for general lighting, and for general electrical works. Every silver lining contains a cloud, however, and the downside is that any writing down allowances for the costs of integral features are given more slowly as so-called special rate expenditure, which sounds good but isn't, than for most other plant and machinery. So some assets, such as central heating systems, are now subject to the regime for slower tax relief, whereas they qualified for standard allowances before April 2008. The statutory definition of integral features is straightforward. It encompasses electrical and lighting systems, cold water systems, heating, ventilation, air conditioning and similar systems, lifts, escalators and moving walkways, external solar shading. However, the definition excludes any asset whose principal purpose is to insulate or enclose the interior of a building, or to provide an interior wall, floor or ceiling which, in each case, is intended to remain permanently in place. So, a false ceiling put in place to conceal new wiring would not qualify as an integral feature, but a plenum ceiling forming the fourth side of a ventilation duct would so qualify. The exact meaning of some of these concepts, lighting systems, electrical systems, cold water systems, is not always clear-cut, but HMRC have given some guidance, and full details are also included in my Capital Allowances book. In relation to electrical systems, for example, HMRC have given the following definition. A system for taking electrical power from the point of entry to the building or structure, or generation within the building or structure, and distributing it through the building or structure as required. HMRC specifically confirmed that the term does not encompass such items as communication or alarm systems, which will normally qualify as plant or machinery in their own right, attracting allowances at the standard rate. We will look at the broader concept of special rate expenditure in a later talk, but note that some items are designated as special rate even though they are not integral features, for example solar panels and indeed higher emission cars. The integral features rules give allowances as if the expenditure in question were on the provision of plant or machinery, even though lifts, for example, are undoubtedly machinery in their own right. So we do not have to consider whether external solar shading, for example, would qualify as plant on ordinary case law principles. However, this does not mean that expenditure on integral features will always qualify for allowances, as other legislation may take precedence. For example, the restriction for plant and machinery in a dwelling house, which we've touched upon in an earlier talk, applies to integral features in the same way as it does to other plant or machinery. A short life asset election is not permitted for integral features. However, there's nothing to stop a person claiming annual investment allowances, AIAs, for integral features. Indeed, if expenditure is incurred on a property that includes both integral features and other fixtures, any AIAs should normally be claimed first for the integral features so that the remaining expenditure attracts allowances at the higher standard rate rather than at the lower special rate.